YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with an updated 2-round NFL mock draft here on February 15th. We're constantly updating these with stock changes for prospects, all kinds of NFL draft content, a load of free agency and trade content coming out right now as free agency approaches. So a lot of that going on and a lot more to come. We have a fan-voted mock draft where you guys will vote for each pick on Twitter. That'll be somewhere in the near future. We do it every year, so make sure you follow that Twitter. You guys will be voting on some different things, having to do with the offseason as well. So make sure you follow that Twitter, Constant NFL Talk. Please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, full NFL content more than anybody out there. Link in the description and comments for anything you need, including that Sided app where you can talk football and win Amazon gift cards every single week. Here's our Twitter. Make sure you follow it. Just constantly keeping you guys updated on the channel and what's going on with the NFL. And then this page I'll put in the comments as well, a link to it. It's just pretty much a rundown, like a cheat sheet for this offseason on cuts and cap space. So check it out. Pretty cool. Link in the description, comments for anything you need. So I like this mock draft a lot because it shakes things up here, mainly with pick 4, and we'll get to that. That could really change things. So I thought this was a different scenario that is realistic that we compared to what we've been doing. But Trevor Lawrence still at 1. Yeah, he's going to have surgery on his non-throwing shoulder there, and not really too worried about that. It just feels like he's already a Jaguar. It really feels like that. Sticking with Zach Wilson at 2. I think he's the second best quarterback in the class. I think most teams will view that as fact as well. It's just an upgrade instantly over Sam Darnold. So new coaching staff be ideal to get going, while you're in position to get a quarterback like this that would be number 1 pick in pretty much every class. Trevor Lawrence just happens to be here. So you got to make this pick. I'm sticking with the Dolphins and Paye. A lot of people have receiver, and I'm not ruling out receiver. They definitely can go that route. Paye is just, I think there's a pretty big gap between, him and the next offensive lineman where receivers, there's a load of solid ones. It's a very good tackle class, offensive line in general. So don't get me wrong there. But Sewell is, a plug-and-play guy. I think Austin Jackson could be better at right tackle than left tackle. Sewell's going to be a better left tackle better tackle in general than Austin Jackson. So it's an upgrade. Keep Tua protected. This would be the right pick in my opinion. So the Falcons, I've been mocking them quarterbacks, which I think is very realistic. I almost feel like that, if it was me, you kind of got to go quarterbacks. One of the Falcons picking 4. I don't really expect them to be picking here. And when is the third best quarterback in the class, this good, when you have the opportunity to take that guy, whether it's Trey Lance or Justin Fields. I'm starting to think they would like Trey Lance a little more. But I could see them going offensive line. Rave reviews on Rashawn Slater, who I think can play guard or tackle. I think he's going to be a dominant guard. So having that opportunity to get one more guard in there because they're going to have Hennessy stepping up at center. I think replacing Carpenter here. Opposite of Lindstrom, you have McGarry at right tackle. You have Matthews at left tackle. And Matthews doesn't have he's still solid, got plenty of time. But, I think in the future, you look at the rest of the offense line, it's very young. Maybe Slater can slide to left tackle if you need him to, but I think you complete this offensive line. And Arthur Smith knows how important the offensive line is. Coming from Tennessee, they want to run the ball. They want to be able to be effective running the ball and throwing the ball. So the run blocking, pass protection, got to be great. So I can see them going this route. I think it's quarterback or offensive line. I see the people that don't give them a quarterback go with something else random. I see it as quarterback or offensive line here, and Rashawn Slater could be pretty appealing to them. And the Bengals, who would like Sewell or Slater, but go Pitts here. And Pitts is just so dominant. And people get a little scared because tight ends don't, the mid-round tight ends seem to have more success than the early rounds. But Kyle Pitts has not been in any draft class. Let's be honest here. I mean, we have never seen this freaky of a dude. Best contested catcher in the class. The versatility, the ability to play receiver, outside slot, inline tight end, can block, just a dominant player. And, some people want them to go chase. That would be pretty cool with Joe Burrow, and that could work out. But having a guy like T against Tyler Boyd already, getting a guy like Pitts that can do so much, I think can help, the offense so much. And it's going to be a matchup problem. I would love this pick here for the Bengals. Eagles go Jamar Chase. Really thought about linebacker for them. If they do go linebacker, I'm thinking Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who's going next year. I think they're looking for more of that coverage guy. And Micah Parsons is a pretty damn good football player, but they may go for more of the fit. But I like Chase, best receiver in the class, absolutely dominant tape last year, what he was able to do. I can't really find a flaw to his game. It's pretty ridiculous when you start to think, you wish he can get a little more separation, but he gets enough separation that you start to find things, because he's that complete. He's a dominant guy, really good at, the point of catching the ball, separating from the receiver, using his, length and physicality. That's where he strives, thrives the most there. So the Eagles finally getting that legit one receiver. The Lions go Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. They definitely can go receiver. So there's a couple different scenarios here. They go receiver. It's a possibility. I think they can wait for that, and they'll view the receivers. There's talks about DeVonta Smith not going this early because, some staffs still, not thrilled with his body, I guess, his thin frame. And some coaches will be like that. They're kind of old school. I think they'll view they can bring back Kenny Golladay and get a receiver or a couple receivers in the mid rounds, and that'll be more ideal to them. Getting speed, range, and coverage ability at the linebacker position, I think, will be very key to them, in their new coaching staff. So getting a guy like Owusu-Koramoah, who I think is going to go a lot earlier than people have him, just because what he brings to the table, and those off the ball linebackers are dominating today's game. So. I think a team like the Lions will really value a guy like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Then the Panthers get Justin Fields. I think it's a really good fit. I think it's a plug-and-play guy for them. It's just they've been wanting to trade this pick for a veteran quarterback, so that kind of tells you maybe they're not thrilled with some of these quarterbacks. Maybe they're not expecting a guy like Justin Fields to be there. I think they would have to at this point. Another team that could possibly go offensive line, to keep that intact, but you got to go Justin Fields in this scenario. So you see, though, the Falcons not taking quarterback, obviously, kind of goes without saying, makes the quarterbacks drop a little further. So it's interesting to see this realistic scenario. The Broncos take Caleb Farley. It could be Farley, it could be Surtain, it could be a quarterback perhaps. But they do like Locke for the future. They're kind of looking for a veteran guy to be that bridge guy to help Locke learn. But I think they'll like Farley there. I think he's good in man and zone coverage. Fangio will like that. A lot of upside for him. Has had some injuries and didn't play this year because of an opt-out. So I guess that's the only concern. But I think most teams will view him as the top corner just because he's kind of a do-it-all corner and he's got a lot of upside. Cowboys take Patrick Surtain, then I think they'll like him. Get the Bama corner duo going, Diggs and Surtain. Diggs more that playmaker, Surtain more that lockdown guy. Would love that. Very physical, blocks down the sideline for Surtain. Giants go Trey Lance, so the Falcons not taking quarterback allows Trey Lance to drop down, and I could see him going to the Falcons. I could see that as a fit, so he can go all the way up there. He can go down here. You don't really see a quarterback, talk about complete in today's era, the running ability and the passing ability. I don't know if a guy like this exists. I mean, we're talking like maybe prime Cam Newton. He's going to be quicker than Cam Newton. He's gonna be more accurate thrower than Cam Newton. So it's pretty damn interesting to the Giants, but they're trying to do with Daniel Jones. They're trying to run him more, open things up. And he's a pretty solid runner, but Trey Lance has more big playability, can be more explosive, just better than Daniel Jones. So it just might be too good to pass. They might not be going into this thing thinking we got to take a quarterback. Don't think they're thinking that at all, really. But you can't pass up on this opportunity because Daniel Jones, they're going to it's ideal for them to try him for another year, but there's nothing set. People think they're going to try him for another year, so that's it. They don't need a quarterback. Really not how things work. It doesn't mean reach for a quarterback, trade up for one, but if a guy like Trey Lance is there, I love the fit. You got to take him. Niners take DeVonta Smith. Niners are a team that's in position that doesn't absolutely need to draft. I don't think any team should draft purely off need, but the Niners are a pretty complete team. They just have the injury concern. DeVonta Smith drops a little bit because maybe his thin frame, but Shanahan's going to like him. He's a guy that he's going to be constantly open, whether he's playing from the slot, playing outside. I like the Niners receivers. Again, they got injury concern, though. Deebo Samuel's fantastic, but can he finish the season? Kind of their utility guy as well, so maybe they don't need him to get a million reps, a game, snaps a game. Then you got Brandon Ayuk outside, which I like him as well. The rest of the guys, I do like Kendrick Bourne, but some rotation guys. just make Jimmy Garoppolo, whoever your quarterback, be as good as he can be here. So just too good of a player to pass on. Chargers could go offensive line. They could look to do that, upgrade that in the offseason. Micah Parsons, this might be too good to pass. That Staley defense, they're going to run more of a 3-4. And they're going to get pass rush with guys like Bosa, they could add more to, guys to get pass rush, from the edge. But a guy like Parsons and Kenneth Murray to be your inside linebackers that also play off the edge and also fantastic blitzing would be pretty damn dominant. You also upgrade the run-stopping game here with Parsons as well. So this would really boost the defense. It would be a kind of a game plan problem defense with Parsons and Murray in the middle there. It'd be a problem. So I actually like that pick a lot. I think it's a really good fit, but it's almost a too good to pass situation. The Vikings go Christian Darsaw, so they find their left tackle of the future. Yeah, Darsaw looks really good. Quick feet, pretty damn strong. The only thing on him is any passing reps Virginia Tech had, which was kind of limited, they were quick. They ran the ball a lot, whether it was a quarterback or Herbert, the running back. But the Vikings like to do that. They want to try to get the ball out quicker, but they run the ball a whole bunch. So I think this is a good fit as well. Maybe too good to pass on top of him being a tackle, which they need. Patriots go Mac Jones. I think this is probably the latest he goes. I think Mac Jones will go earlier than a lot of people say. Smart quarterback, reactions are intangibles, all those ridiculous. Pretty damn accurate quarterback. I think people knock him on his downfield ability, but I think people do that because they're too busy watching Zach Wilson, too busy watching Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones pretty good downfield, is not as good as those guys, and that's why maybe he's the, fifth quarterback perhaps off the board, whatever it may be. Cardinals go Jaylen Waddle. Yeah, too good to pass, but this team uses more receivers in a game than anybody, so getting more explosive guys out there, speed out there. Sometimes they relied on DeAndre Hopkins too much, and, you couldn't really trust the other guys to get massive separation. Kirk kind of just a downfield guy. Waddle's a dominant downfield guy, but he does everything underneath things as well. That's why he's a better prospect than Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is kind of just go deep. Waddle's much more than that. I guess it really wasn't it was a good look to show his toughness, in the national championship game. But it really wasn't a good look because it shows he's not really healed yet. How long till he's healed? Because that looked kind of bad. That was kind of, tough dude, obviously, but so that'll be interesting to see, but it's an ankle injury. You think he'd be able to recover for that. Sometimes ankles are, they're scary, though, because those injuries just keep coming back, so it's just so talented, though. The Cardinals would not be able to pass up on him. Next group of picks, the Raiders, Christian Barmore from Alabama. I still think the Raiders they're going to make some more cuts. They've already, got a head start on that. They'll clear some space. I think they'll take a look at the edge rush position in free agency. So they can, and they really want to upgrade the interior pressure because they feel like they have edge rushers as it is. Max Crosby's solid. Farrell can be solid. Interior pressure really, forces the quarterback out and then helps out the edge rushers. So that'll be ideal to get a guy that can get interior pressure, also worthy of the pick here. And Christian Barmore can move around a bit across the D-line. So a lot of upside here. The Raiders would like to have him. Dolphins go Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. This could be that, middle of the first round guy that really tears it up. He's not Justin Jefferson, but something similar to that where he wasn't the first receiver taken that just really tears it up year one. But even though, I'm not saying he's Justin Jefferson, at the same time, he's kind of has some length to him and, plays in the slot for a guy like that. 5 years ago, you didn't see guys like this that played in the slot, but can dominate the slot, can dominate outside, has a good contested catch ability. So he can be kind of an instant impact guy. So, the Dolphins seem to, they've had, maybe they're looking for a better, shiftier guy like Tony, but they've kind of shied away the last couple of years of using those shifty type players. They like the physical guys, the lengthy guys, but they don't want another outside guy. They got plenty of those guys. So get a guy like Bateman that kind of fits all those categories there. So that makes sense to me. Then Washington's Kadarius Toney, add him with Terry McLaurin. Be a pretty good dynamic duo there with speed and just separations. It makes the job really easy for a quarterback. Bears take Jalen Mayfield. I'm a big Jalen Mayfield guy. I really like him on the Bears as well. This might be the latest he goes. He's really going to start sneaking up there. It's tough right now because it's tough to figure out which teams would maybe like him at left tackle because I think he's a dominant right tackle day one. I think teams view him as that. And the Bears, they could use a right tackle. Massey could be cut. He's had some injury concerns. They had a Fetty playing there last year at right tackle. He's a free agent. You can get better. Mayfield's better. So I would love that for the Bears at right tackle. But could it be like a Jedrick Wills situation where he moved from right tackle to left tackle and he was still as dominant, still that much of a bully at the position? So which teams will view Mayfield like that? Teams like Washington could take him, could put him at left tackle. Other teams we talked about could do the same thing. I like him. Nasty blocker. Even if somebody put him at guard, I think he'd be like a Pro Bowl guard. So this guy's going to be pretty good. Samuel Cosme's growing on me as well. I'm never really a big fan of Big 12 tackles, and it's not because, he's a Big 12 tackle, he's going to be like other Big 12 tackles. It's not like that. I'm not like, people, I hate when people do that. This guy's a Bama quarterback, so he's not going to be good in the NFL. It's ridiculous. But typically in those style offenses in the Big 12, you don't have to block for long. It's just so quick. The ball comes out so quick. It's so fast. But if you actually turn on the tape, watch Cosme here, he's a pretty dominant blocker, and he's a really good run blocker. Texas was able to get the run game going a lot outside as well because of a guy like Cosme. So I think he fits the Colts. I think he's going to be a really good pick here at left tackle. I'm starting to like him a lot more. Some of these, as soon as you watch some of these guys like that were under the radar guys for a little bit, Mayfield, Cosme, then you start to like them a lot more, and you realize they're going to go earlier than the media's been saying. Titans like Azeez Ojulari, I think it's a really good fit. Edge rusher from Georgia. He fits outside linebacker. I think he can fit any scheme, really. But he'll fit in as an outside linebacker in a 3-4 opposite of Harold Landry. And they like to drop those guys. It's kind of a bad thing. The Titans like to rush 3 sometimes and just drop, a guy like Landry into coverage too much. But they like that, and they're keeping the same staff. And Ojulari can drop in coverage. He can actually cover. So it's kind of like another Harold Landry guy on the opposite side. So they'll like him. Kwity Paye, he's got a pretty big range, Paye that is. He can go pretty early. The thing, he's freaky strong, can help stop the run. He's strictly a 4-3 end. So I think he'll fit the defensive end position in Robert Saleh's Leo scheme here in the Jets. Kind of too good to pass same time. Doesn't have a crazy amount of production, but you can see the upside there. But guys like Ojulari, he can fit multiple schemes. I view Paye as 4-3 or Leo defense. Elijah Vera Tucker, another guy with some good range here, could go a lot earlier. I think people right now have him, and he could go earlier. I think people mainly have him a lot earlier because he was a guard, pretty damn good guard, and then he filled in at tackle, and he looked pretty solid there, given that he kind of just got thrown there. But I think because of his versatility, he's great. I think because of that, people are kind of like, wow, I'm not in love with him at tackle, maybe right tackle. I really like him at guard. But again, he could play left tackle for Sears, but they need to upgrade, their interior, mainly run blocking. But either way, they can use the upgrade there. So maybe too good to pass at this point. Really like the fit there in Pittsburgh. Next group of picks, Jaguars take J.C. Horn, corner from South Carolina. Maybe, first glance, maybe not the biggest need. The Jaguars shouldn't be drafting off need anyways. But at the same time, it is it's bigger need than you think. But you also got to player that some think could go earlier in this. So in J.C. Horn, really physical, really good man coverage. Could come up and hit you. Penalty is kind of an issue. He's going to get called for a lot of PIs. That's maybe they can drop him down a little bit because more will get called in the NFL. But why I said it's a bigger need than you think, the Jags are going to run more of like a Ravens type scheme, in the cornerback position is the most important position in that scheme because they want to blitz a little more often. They want to be able to run man coverage more often. So you get Horn with C.J. Henderson, who they drafted, based off his man abilities as well. That's fantastic. Pair that duo together, so that makes a lot of sense. Gregory Rousseau to the Browns is an ultimate upside guy. The more and more I watch Rousseau, it's a tough evaluation because he's got freaky upside because of his freaky length, his body. But he wasn't that dominant on tape off the edge. He was better when you move him inside, actually, which is odd. But he's not going to start inside because you look at the guy's body type. He says edge rusher, a lot of upside at edge rush. The good thing is you can move him around a bit. I think he's got some more developing to do off the edge, so that's why he can drop a little bit. But there's those teams that value the crazy upside and the guys that I really want to work with this guy. And there's teams that, want the safer pick, the guy that I know is good right now, and we can even work with them, and we're trying to win right now. So he could go a lot earlier because, people want to try to get hit on that upside guy. But the Browns wouldn't pass on him. The Ravens, Tevin Jenkins is the ultimate fit for Orlando Brown. They're probably going to trade Orlando Brown. We've covered that with a few videos. Orlando Brown's got his own video at landing spots on our channel. But Brown wants to play left tackle. The Ravens want to play on right tackle. They got Ronnie Stanley. I think probably the best tackle in football, if healthy. So they're going to need a right tackle. It'll be pretty important to them. And the offensive line was a little underwhelming last year anyways. Jenkins fits so perfectly. He's basically another Orlando Brown. They run a lot of man power blocking. They want that physical guy that can block straight north and south, and I think Jenkins can do that. It was a big reason Oklahoma State was able to run the ball more effectively. They were more of a running team. They even want to run their quarterback a bit. So Jenkins is a really good fit. I think Mayfield from Michigan's a really good fit as well. They may have to move up for him. They probably have to move up from him. It's an Orlando Brown replacement. Maybe they'll get they're going to get a pick for Orlando Brown. We've went over different scenarios on that. We'll see what ends up happening. Javon Marrig, I'm a big fan of Marrig here from TCU. Saints, I love the fit on the Saints. He fits any team, really. I'm trying to figure out where I like him better, free or strong safety. And it's a beautiful thing because he's a very complete prospect. There's these guys like sometimes you question, is he better at strong, free? He's got his flaws at one and the other. What the hell is he? Marrig is both. He's got the body type, the range, the closing speed, I guess the ability to read the quarterback. You read the ball when it's in the playmaking ability. I think I mentioned his body type. All that combined just says free safety. He's a free safety. Kind of reminds me of Justin Simmons a little bit, his build and the way he reacts when the ball's in the air. It's a free safety. But when he lines up at strong safety, or not even sometimes, because they had a Darius Washington too, they'll go split safety, and there's really no free or strong. They're just back there split safety. Saints did that a bit as well. He just looks like a dominant, strong safety in the moments because he knows the play before it's happening. He shoots up and makes a play in the backfield around the line of scrimmage. Really good tackler. So those defenses that don't want to strict, this guy's only a free safety, strong safety, that's fantastic. A lot of value he has a lot of value to teams like that. So the Saints are probably going to lose Marcus Williams. The Saints ran a lot of cover, two-man under. So anything unders in man. The two safeties are basically in zone. They got help half the field. So Mulrig kind of free to do whatever he can do there. At times, replacing Marcus Williams can back up somebody on one side. But then if you got him, Malcolm Jenkins ain't going to last forever as well. But if you kind of got him in that role, then he's free to kind of roam up and come up in the box if you need him to and just understand plays. So I really like the fit there. Packers take Elijah Moore. It sounded like he's going to go first round. It's just today's type of receiver. You put him in a slot, you scheme up plays, but it only works if he understands how to find open gaps in zone and has the footwork, and he has all those things. So the Packers kind of want to go that route. How can we make the offense even more dominant? Because if we're going to win it all, if we're going to get past the NFC Championship, how are we going to get this offense to be more dominant? If you get a guy like this, and that helps spread the field. And Adams can play in the slot, play outside as well, obviously, maybe the best in football. I think this will make him that much more dominant. The Bills go Nick Bolton from Missouri. I like him as well. High motor guy, pretty damn instinctive. Will fly to the football. Maybe not the biggest need for the Bills at first glance, but they could use another linebacker here. Milano is going to be a free agent. Will they be able to get him back? That's kind of the question. So they could use another one in there. I think just kind of too good to pass. Maybe not the biggest need, but the Bills know, they know that, especially that linebacker talent when they see it. The Chiefs, I love Terrace Marshall to the Chiefs. Chiefs actually need another receiver. Sammy Watkins, a free agent. DeMarcus Robinson, a free agent. It felt like they really needed another one in the Super Bowl as well, just too much on Tyreek Hill. And they've been just getting the speed guys, and they have Hardman. They got Hill. They got Hardman. They need more of a guy that can make that contested catch or be that possession receiver, but then also has speed and can play in the slot and outside. And that's Terrace Marshall. It's exactly him. So I think it would benefit big time from adding a guy like this. And the Bucs get Jaylen Phillips, who I actually have right now as my number one pass rusher in the class. I think he's going to be the best one right away. Best pass rush moves day one. freaky length, athleticism. He fits at 4-3 end or 3-4 outside linebacker. He's going to drop a little bit because he had concussion problems. So multiple more concussions, he might be done. It's pretty damn scary to draft a guy, but he's so talented. Buccaneers probably would get Shaq Barrett back anyways. Jason Pierre-Paul, they got the two of them. They have no rotation, and Jason Pierre-Paul has got one more year on his contract. Can they afford him when that comes around? Aging anyway, still very good. But, yeah, they're going to look out for that. They can afford to do this. Best player available. Get the high-end talent. And JPP can move inside if they need him to at times, too. So they can run all three. Would absolutely love that pick. And then we got to go through the second round real quick. Jags take Liam Meichenberg, so they get their left tackle. Mainly a good run blocker. Solid pass protector as well. Could work on that. Asante Samuel Jr. to the Jets. So in that new scheme, they're going to run a lot of cover 3. I think Samuel Jr. will thrive in a cover 3 scheme, being able to sit in his zone and read the quarterback. He dominates at that, so would absolutely love that pick. And the Falcons, so this scenario, I had no running backs in the first. I've heard that there's some teams that are kind of cold on Najee Harris because, the lacking of top-end speed. And had that dominant offensive line, so where he was able to, is he going to be able to stay as patient as he is at the next level? I love Najee Harris, but some teams are kind of talking like that. The Falcons, Arthur Smith, they would love Najee Harris, so that would be a great pick. And the Dolphins go Travis Etienne, so they get their running back as well. Eagles take Jabril Cox. They might be in the market for more of a coverage linebacker, and that kind of rides on them going with that Colts type scheme, which I think they will on defense. They need their linebackers and safeties to be able to cover much, much better. Their corners will kind of handle the flat if they go with that scheme. So it'd be important to add a linebacker that can drop in coverage. Jabril Cox, really good in coverage. Dylan Radunes for the Bengals, a guy that can play either tackle spot or either guard spot. Fantastic for the Bengals here. The Panthers go Wyatt Davis, so kind of buff that interior, get things going for McCaffrey, there on the inside. Broncos go Zaven Collins. I think he's a really good fit at inside linebacker in their scheme. He can blitz very well. You can put him on the edge. You can rush from there. And he's pretty good if you sit him in the middle of the field and have him read the quarterback. His tackling could use work, mainly, the position he puts himself in, that could use some work. But I think Fangio would like him. Lions go Rondale Moore, so they add that speed at receiver to pair with Kenny Galladay. The Giants take Jason Away from Penn State. It's another one of those, kind of like Gregory Rousseau. It's just you look at the guy, freaky build. I mean, kind of reminds me of Daniil Hunter coming out from LSU, just a monster. Just look at the guy, and he's a freak, but he doesn't have a whole bunch of production at the pass rush position. I could pop myself back up. We were covering the Broncos. So it's kind of same ideal. I was much more comfortable with Hunter, so I'm not saying he's going to turn into Hunter, but it's just an ultimate upside guy. The production really wasn't there. He kind of put himself in some, sucked himself into blocks sometimes. So we'll see where he ends up. Has some first round talk just because of the upside. Aaron Robinson of the Niners. And another, it kind of reminds me of, when Tre'Davious White was at LSU a little bit. Kind of reminds me of that. You can play in slot and outside. Which one is he? He's pretty damn good at both of them. But the Niners would play him outside in their scheme. Cowboys go Carlos Basham, Wake Forest pass rusher, but also can slide inside. I like him more inside in the NFL because of his body type. But because it seems like his first step was always inside, even when he was off the edge, and he did have reps inside as well. So I would like him. The Cowboys, it's ideal for them to get a guy like this that can play both, help them in both, but they have not been getting interior pressure. So, play him at like a 3 technique spot, very ideal. Levi Onwuzurike from Washington. Jaguars, speaking interior pressure, Jaguars need that pretty damn bad. They got good edge rushers. They got good upside edge rushers. Interior pressure will help those things out. Ideal pick here. Patriots get Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace, I love me some Tylan Wallace. This is a guy I want on my team. He's a tough dude. He'll try to run you over too. You look at him, he's pretty quick, good footwork, good routes. He'll get open, catch the ball, but he'll lower the shoulder and try to run you over too. So I've been watching him lately. I like him a lot. I'm not a fan of Oklahoma State's offense though. They kind of stuck him out in one spot. Whenever they let him kind of do his thing, get all of Tylan Wallace, you saw all of him. So Patriots will like him. They will like him a lot. Alex Leatherwood for the Chargers, so they get their left tackle. I think he also could be a dominant guard. There's some teams talking about him being a guard, or some people talking about that. Joseph Asai for the Raiders. I think he kind of be that Leo defensive end for them / outside linebacker in Gus Bradley's scheme. So, opposite of Max Crosby, possibly a more of an athletic guy that could put his hand in the dirt or stand off if you want him to. It's exactly what he did at Texas. So, another high motor pass rusher. Next group of picks here. That's the Seahawks down there, in case you didn't know. But Greg Newsome, I like me some Greg Newsome from Northwestern. Long, familiar with man, zone, really quick feet, good downfield, good underneath. It almost feels like a complete cornerback prospect, so probably should go earlier. Limited amount of games this year, obviously, with the Big Ten, but before that, didn't finish the season, so I guess that could be the concern. It's be a great pick for the Cardinals. Ali McNeil is going to be the best true nose tackle in the class. Really dominant run stopper. Could get some pretty good pass rush pressure. Could get some good pressure, for a true nose tackle. The Dolphins, really good defense, I think, because their playmaking ability, the ability to create turnovers. The teams that can really run, they kind of expose them a little bit. Nothing too terrible. In the Broncos game, if I remember, was pretty bad. But I think getting a true nose tackle in there, I think could be ideal for them. A guy like Devon Godchaux is, guy that can move around a bit. I think he's a free agent anyway, so you can upgrade here. Washington goes Kyle Trask, so I think a pretty good value pick at 51. Could be the quarterback of the future. They could also get a veteran. They might not be hitting on the big-time veterans, just because they don't have the best value to offer, 19th pick. So they can get a veteran, Kyle Trask, to learn from him and maybe take over near future. Bears get the receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown from USC. Yeah, I think a do-it-all type receiver. I mean, you can send him downfield, you can send him underneath. I think you can play him in the, I know you can play him outside, you can play him in the slot. So kind of pair him with Darnell Mooney for the future. The Titans get Eric Stokes. They need a corner that wants to be a little more physical and not play too far off in coverage. At the same time, I understand now why the Titans corners were playing kind of off coverage, because they knew they would have to cover for a long time because the Titans were not getting pressure, so there's really no point to coming up pressing. But Stokes is the guy that wants to be physical there, so grab him. The Colts take Patrick Jones. I think a pretty good fit at defensive end for the Colts. Pretty productive at Pittsburgh, obviously. Steelers take Javonte Williams. I like Javonte Williams a lot. Really strong runner, tough to bring down. Once he gets going, nobody's talking about, he's got more speed than what people are talking about. I think catching the ball, he had some drops, but once he catches it, he's pretty damn good after the catch. I like Javonte Williams a lot. Steelers, I would like that. Him, McFarland, good duo for the future. Seahawks take Trey Smith, another pick I would love. Really good value pick. Nasty blocker at the guard position. Damian Lewis, Trey Smith for the future. I love that. Trey Smith also can play tackle. He was a top recruit at tackle, was good there. For some reason, I think we're going to move him to guard. He's going to be a Pro Bowl guard one day. It's kind of what they're thinking was. He's pretty dominant there. Cam McGrone for the Rams. Yeah, their inside linebacker group was pretty atrocious without Corey Littleton. So getting a guy there on the inside linebacker position that also can blitz like McGrone, ideal. Ravens take Amari Rodgers, solid receiver. To play in the slot. I think he can dominate the slot, can play outside as well. Pretty good hands, got some big play potential. It's kind of like what you got from Duvernay, but I think a little more, technical, more polished. Duvernay's got more of that home run ability, but Duvernay's probably just he's just a speed run after catch guy. Rodgers going to be a little smoother, a little more technical to his game. So these are the guys that they like. Richie Grant to the Browns. There's some talk that he can go earlier in this. Richie Grant's pretty good too. I like him at free and strong. Or I really like him. This is the ideal guy to cover the Travis Kelce's, in my opinion. He's really good man coverage from the slot. Covering that really good, whether it's Travis Kelce or whether it's a speed guy from the slot. I think Grant's kind of the man for the job. So the team's looking to upgrade there. The Browns kind of had guys like MJ Stewart playing there, which he actually played better than expected. Just kind of a shot in the dark kind of signing, but you can get a lot better there, upgrade there. And they had Denzel Ward trying to get, if it was the best guy in the field like Travis Kelce, that, he's really not. He's really good outside. He's really not for that. So get a guy like Grant in there, but then also can fill in at free safety. So it's kind of an upgrade in multiple spots. Dwayne Eskridge to the Saints, really like this fit as well. A home run hitter, in terms of, getting open downfield, getting the separation, can play outside in. Type of guy the Saints need. Bills take Landon Dickerson, which Dickerson can go in the first round. The injury could push him down. He can play center or guard. It's an upgrade for the Bills either way, whether it's over Morse or Feliciano's a free agent. Cody Ford can come in and play guard or can play tackle, but Dickerson can help them in multiple ways. Tyson Campbell, long, athletic Georgia corner for the Packers. Pair him with Jair Alexander. The Chiefs take Joe Tryon here. This is a guy that can go first too. I like his pass rush moves. He's really good. Even on the outside with his hands, getting that dip underneath. Bull rush is good as well. So I like him. You look at him, he's a freaky dude, but he's a little lighter than you would think. So, based on the weight, people would say 3-4 outside linebacker, but I like him at 4-3 and, with the Chiefs. Either way, I like him. He opted out this year, so that's kind of the flaw. But I like him. He knows how to get after the quarterback, So the Chiefs would like him. Future with him, with Frank Clark, obviously great. Davion Nixon's another guy that can go first round. A defensive tackle that can move around a bit. I think this could be the Ndamukong Suh replacement perhaps, but also can move around. He can rotate in with guys. He's not going to play, nose. I wouldn't put it past him, but they got Vita Vea for that. He's dominant nose tackle. So I think just too good. The Bucs are in the business of taking just the best guy available. They won the Super Bowl because they're the most complete roster. They're going to continue to have that. They also can look out for the future with some of these picks, but they're in a pretty good position there. So I really like the fits. The more and more I'm watching these guys on tape, which I'm still in that process, the more I'm realizing, okay, this guy fits here, here, and I got guys going up, stock soaring here. So really excited about these fits here. I thought it was an interesting one because the scenario of the Falcons passing on a quarterback, I recommend they take one, but I can also see them completing that offensive line because that's kind of going to be Arthur Smith's thinking as well. So we'll see. I like the scenario a lot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can follow us on Twitter. Let me know your thoughts there. We're always talking there. Link in the description, comments for anything you need. But yeah, really appreciate you guys for your support lately. I've been watching. Smash that like button. Subscribe. But that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.